To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the off-grid lifestyle, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. I've lived in Missouri most of my life, and I can't say that I've ever seen this before. I mean, I've seen it on TV and different things, but that's a cocoon, I guess, for caterpillars. And there must be hundreds of caterpillars in that cocoon. That is just neat. I don't know how well you can see that. Wow. So it's getting ready to rain again today. It's going to be a 24-hour rain. It's one of those all-day things again. We can't get much work done on our tiny house. It's going to start here in about an hour. Boy, I tell you, you can't tell from the sunshine. Making a lot of power actually this morning with the solar panels. I thought I'd walk down in the woods. It's kind of a cool morning. It's about 52 degrees. I won't get to do this much longer. You know, the ticks and the snakes, they like to hide out here in the woods, and so, you know, during the summertime, I kind of wrap up the idea of going out in the woods. So I thought I'd come out here and maybe try to find some mushrooms. I guess it's getting kind of late in the season for mushrooms. Doesn't keep me from trying. I tell you, if I'd have listened to everybody in my life tell me what I can't do and that I need more money to do it, or I need to go buy things to do it, I don't know if I'd ever accomplished anything in life. I know it's only an acre and a half, but it sure to me is the most beautiful piece of paradise on the planet. And I really am enjoying living here. Look, I'm having to climb out of my own creek. Not much water in it right now, but there will be in an hour. In my life, I have so many people that have told me that you just can't do things, or you have to spend money to do it. When I decided I wanted to get out of debt and I wanted to do it in a big old hurry, I had $50,000 in debt. About, I guess 6 or 7 years ago. I was working 14, 16 hours a day. I had to get out of it. There was no way I could continue to live that way and work that hard for things I probably didn't even own anymore. You know, you buy stuff on credit cards and, you know, what'd you buy? Did you go out to eat on a credit card? You know, that food's gone. And then I owed money to the IRS, and I always thought that was a dangerous situation. If I got in a situation where I couldn't pay them, you know, I would have went to jail most likely, so I had to get out of that debt. And it took me 2 years to get out of debt. And it was because I didn't listen to the folks that said you have to have debt. I mean, you gotta realize, it wasn't that long ago we had a government that was telling us the only way to survive in life is on debt. And I just didn't believe it. And I'll tell you, the most freeing thing that I've ever done in my life was get out of debt. That way, any money I make is mine. I get to keep it. I get to do what I want with it. Like buy an acre and a half for $4,200 with cash. And then after I got out of debt, Carolyn and I decided that we wanted to live the nomadic lifestyle. I will admit that Carolyn and I did not like the nomadic lifestyle. In the end, we did get to try it. You know, we started out in a pop-up camper. Now remember, we just got out of debt. I'm still very leery about buying expensive items. So I bought a pop-up camper. But we spent less than $1,000 getting that little pop-up camper ready to go and live a nomadic lifestyle. Oh my goodness, you should have seen the naysayers there. My landlord, I told him that we were leaving, gave him a month's notice. And he come over, he wanted to see what repairs needed to be made to the house. He says, so where are you guys moving to? And I said, well, we're gonna travel the country for a while. And he says, in that pop-up camper? Yeah. You can't do that, you'll never survive a winter. Well, we did. It was a very cold winter, too. We started out the winter in Missouri. We had to come back to Missouri in the wintertime. So we stayed there for half the winter. I think we left in late December, went down to Florida. And when we got down to Florida, it was the coldest Florida had been in a long time. And it snowed while we were there. Very odd, apparently. So, but we did it. We were able to do it. And then I built the camper after the pop-up camper fire. And I made it out of 2x2s. And I will tell you, still yet to today, we've been living in that thing for 2 years. It's been from the east to the north, to the west, to the south. It's been all over the country in the 2 years that we've had it. And it's like new, it still works great. I've made one modification. I put basically a vinyl siding over it. I used Coroplast, and I put Coroplast all around it to kind of waterproof it a little bit. But other than that, I built this little camper out of 2x2s for, I think, I don't know, $600. Continue your nomadic lifestyle. Well, here's the thing, is we're still in it. I took it off the truck. I built a little base to replace the truck bed, and I set the camper right on top of the base, and now we're still in it. Cost effective, uses hardly any heat. We got it insulated so well that you can nearly heat it with a match. So if I'd have listened to everybody say it's not gonna work, I'd have spent, thousands of dollars, spending more money than I needed to, so I could continue the nomadic lifestyle for 2 more years and quit. Good thing I didn't listen. Here's some deadfall. What that means is when it falls, I'll be dead. I need to get out from underneath it. This is April. So back in August, Carolyn and I decided we were going to quit the nomadic lifestyle. And we wanted to buy a piece of property here in Missouri. And we wanted to do it within a budget. We wanted to buy something under 10 acres. So we wanted to get off-grid in an area that would allow us to live off-grid with enough space available that we could live off-grid. And where the neighbors aren't bothering us and didn't have code restrictions that we'd have to worry about. Well, of course, yeah, you can't do that. You're gonna be up 20, 30, 40. I was getting people to send me web pages of property, an acre for $20,000. I'm like, no way, it's not even feasible. It didn't make sense why I would buy an undeveloped piece of property for $20,000. And so Carolyn really took the ball on this one, and she started looking really hard for property. And by January, she had found this. It was $4,200, and it had a well on it. So we saved the $2,000 on having to dig a well. And then I decided I was going to put a well pump on it, and I was going to run it into an IBC tank. It amazes me how much resistance that got on social media. When I said that's what I was going to do, oh, you can't do that. I had people telling me, I've been digging wells for 40 years. You can't do that. You got to have a pressurized tank, and you got to have this, and you got to have that, and you got to da-da-da-da-da. And I kept trying to explain that I didn't need any of it. Oh, yes, you do. I've been doing it for 40 years. I don't know why it's always 40 years, but it is. It's always 40 years. Now that I've actually installed my well pump, I can run it off a generator, a 110, 2,000 watt generator, which they told me you'll never find a pump that's 110 that you can run off a generator like that. You can't do it. You're going to have 220. I've never seen such resistance in my life that you can't do something that I thought, man, what is this? It's a hole in the ground with water in it, and I need to get the water out of the ground. I could send a cup down and pull it back up if I needed to. I just could not imagine this being this difficult. Well, of course, I've stuck a pump down in it. I'm running it off the generator, 110 volt, 2,000 watt inverter generator, and it's pulling water out of it just crazy fast. If I let it go full blast, it goes up to 33 gallons per minute. So, I actually had to throttle it down. It's incredible how well this worked. And so I take water, I put it into an IBC tank, and then I just pump that water with a 12 volt pump. And I haven't heard anybody tell me, I've been doing this for 40 years. And I apologize for telling you it wasn't gonna work. Not one person has apologized. They just know it's not gonna work, so I can't do it. So now I'm building a tiny house up here, and it is absolutely incredible. The number of people that will tell me it's not gonna work. I'm using 2x4s. This is what's funny to me. I'm using 2x4s for the floor. I took the 2x4s off the mobile home trailer that we took, apart. I'm reusing the same 2x4s to build it on the same trailer that it came off of, with an extra support. I've made a 2x6 center beam support, so it actually has more support than it did when I took it off, and I'm being told that won't work. I cannot imagine how this isn't gonna work. Well, again, if I would listen to everybody telling me what's not gonna work, and you're gonna have to have a 2x8. That's the only thing you can build. I've been building for 40 years, and you have to build the floor out of a 2x8. Well, then why do they build trailers out of 2x4s? That seems a little dangerous to me. You're going to sell a mobile home trailer to someone that isn't gonna hold their weight. They're gonna fall right through the floor, according to these people. So the point of this video is, do your own research, study, And don't listen to people tell you you can't. As soon as someone says you can't do something, that's when you know for a fact that you can do it. Because the people who say you can't do it or you got to spend more money to do it are the ones that have never tried anything outside the box. They have this set standard in life that says, okay, I got to have a 2,000 square foot house because that's what the code says. You know, the county code tells me I got to have a 2,000 square foot house. The county code says I got to have 2x8s. And the county code says I got to have so much insulation. The county code says I got to have this. So I guess that's the way you got to do it. So then they go and tell everybody that you can't do it, not because the county code says you can't do it, but because I've been doing it for 40 years and they know everything. Well, the only thing they know is what the county code told them. So don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. Do your own research. Find out how much a 2x4 can hold. Thanks for watching.